This was a Fathom event. This isn't a DVD review. This was shown at my theater downtown, and it was for one night only. And I guess they showed it because they're promoting the release of the Blu-ray trilogy, the extended cut. And I saw this because I love movies. I'm not a huge Lord of the Rings fan, I admit. I saw them when they were released, and I'm not one of those die-hard fans, but I do like the movies. They're great fantasy films. So, as we all know, this is based off of the best-selling J.R.R. Tolkien book series, and I never read the series because I didn't have that much patience. I tried reading it, but in all honesty, reading the Harry Potter books was a lot easier. And Peter Jackson directed all three of them. And for those of you that don't know, all the films were shot back to back to back, which is really hard. So the film stars Elijah Wood, Ian McKellen, Viggo Mortensen, Sean Bean, and a bunch of others, to say the least. So I won't go into the story too much because I think pretty much everyone knows the story. It's the ring, and these people have to get it back to its origin and destroy it. That's the very basic storyline. So, as a whole, this film is very good. The cast is outstanding. We have a lot of big names in this movie, and I think a lot of them got their start, kind of like not their start, like this wasn't their first acting job, but I think most of them got like famous through this film. The visual effects are outstanding, and for the time that they were made, the effects for this movie were outstanding. Of course, we have films more advanced, but still, for the time, they were amazing. The sets are outstanding, and credit has to be put out there for those that spent time building all these sets because they're just really amazing. They're lit really well, and they're dark and gritty. And we're introduced to all the characters that we're going to be sharing screen with in the other films. And this film is very good at telling the story. It really goes in depth and doesn't, just kind of give a 2 hour half-assed version of it like a lot of films do. The thing that I loved about watching this movie is that, unlike a lot of films, that this film really draws you in. I was in a relatively small theater, but I was in a theater packed with a lot of fans. And throughout the entire film, I never kind of in my head was like, I'm in a theater. I felt like I was at home watching this by myself because it was so engaging. You're sucked in from the minute it starts. And every character you love, every character takes time. I mean, obviously it's the first film, so not everyone is developed as much as everyone else. But you love all these characters. They're really engaging. They have a good story, and all the actors just give so much life to them. So as a whole, I'm going to give the Fellowship of the Ring 4 out of 5 stars. The only problems that I have with the film, for a lot of the action scenes, a lot of the action is shot really up close, and the camera isn't really shaking, but it's really up close, and they don't do a whole lot of wide angles. So a lot of the times it was hard for me to see exactly what was going on. But besides that, also another really small thing was the editing at times was a little bit too quick. And I know that for an action film, you do quick cuts. I know that, but there were some times, even like when they weren't doing action, that there seemed to be cuts that were a little bit too fast, and I wanted to see the scenery a little bit longer on the screen. But as a whole, it's a very good film, and for those of you who haven't seen it, well, I don't think there's a lot of people who haven't seen it. It's been out for what, 10, 11 years or so, because I think the first one came out in 2001. So if you haven't seen it, go ahead and see it right now.